Welcome guys to calisthenics strength class with Rigs Remote. If you're looking for the handstand class, we're just doing a little bit of a change for the next couple of weeks, but you can join me with this one, and then afterwards if you want to look at one of the handstand classes, please feel to check your emails and just go through that one again. But today we're going to focus a bit more strength, all body weight, next to no sort of equipment and everything like that. So again, main thing, make sure that we're not going to be working in any pain, and make sure you've got enough space throughout the whole thing. We're going to go through an extensive warm-up and then go through our legs, upper body and a bit of core to finish off, followed by a nice cool down. So start off with, we're just going to come onto the floor and we'll do upper body warm-up. Get into a child pose. We're going to come forward into a cat-cow position, arch the back and then round, and then we're going to come through into cobra, and we'll just do a few cobra push-ups. So you're fine here, we're just arching the back, feeling that stretch, lock out the elbows and breathe. Feel that stretch in the arms, the lower back. Good, and now we're going to go into a downward dog position. So rear here, we're trying to push our head through our shoulders, try and get those heels towards the ground. If you're up there, that's fine, but really try and push your lower back into your thighs, and then come out of it, and then push again. And come out, and push again. Good, then we go back to our knees. Shuffle the hands in the front to finish off the child pose. Next, we're going to step forward into a deep lunge position and feel the groin stretch out. And then we're just going to do some thoracic rotations to open up that T-spine and breathe. Knees on the floor here, just opening our body up. Good, place hands back down, knee back, other leg forward. Again, feel that stretch position. And then we're going to go underneath. So underneath and extend with the opposite hand. Good. Next position, we're just going to come into a butterfly and tailor pose, and I'm just going to grab the tops of my feet. I'm just going to open up. And we're just slowly trying to get those knees towards the ground, but keeping it active, holding for just a couple of seconds the deepest position. Good. And then we're going to reverse it into standard frog pose. We can come onto the elbows. Again, we can go from an anterior pelvic tilt to a posterior where we're squeezing the glutes, and then come out of it and sink a little bit deeper. Good. Couple more and squeeze. Take nice deep breaths throughout. Good, next we're just going to come into a squat position. So feet just slightly wider than shoulder width apart. It's a nice wide stance to start. Hands will come down, and then we're just going to come into a pike and extend. Squat down, hands down. Again, if you're just here, that's fine. You can squat down there and you're reaching like that, that's okay. Again, we're just really trying to get deeper, as deep as you can. Next, I want to sort of get your hands around there. Again, if you can get to the floor, great. It's okay to be about here as well. And then just either walk your hands around or travel around. Again, you can get your feet a little bit closer here. Just getting those hamstrings warmed up. Good, then we're going to come into a squat position. Again, if you're trying to get as deep as you can hold it. And then we're just going to open out. And you can come here and then open out in a prayer pose, or take it one at a time. and do a couple one side, and then just open up those hips. The other side. Good. And if you're up here, that's okay. Just start again, then come out. Good. So that's our warm up done, and I'll come back with our leg thing in 30-40 seconds. So just take a drink, relax, and I'll be back soon. Right, so our first bit, we're going to just focus on our legs. We're going to focus on our quads, glutes, and then all around, so our adductor strength and everything like that. The first exercise is called a shrimp squat. This is a single leg squat. What you don't have to, but what you can use is a bit of assistance. And if you've got a towel or cushion or anything, you can also use these just for a bit of assistance if you've got a hard floor. So what we're going to do is you're going to step 1 foot in front. Again, if you've got an assistance like a chair or stool, I can show you that as well if you need it. So we're going to go 1 step in front. We're going to pick one leg up on one leg, and you're going to try go back onto that leg and then relax down. Again, if you've got a chair or anything like that, you can sort of pull yourself up. So we're really going to try and control. We don't want to be dropping down really hard onto our knee. We're really going to try and control that movement, and you can just bend forward slowly, put your hands out for counterbalance, and you want to drive that leg up, okay? Again, if you've got support like a sofa or anything nearby, you can use that to go down and use it as accommodating resistance, and then drive up. Good, and then we'll do exactly the same on the other leg. Again, use the cushions and stuff where necessary to your level. So again, slowly down, reach down. If you can, use it without assistance. Can you get up? Again, but use it if you need it, nice and close, and drive using that quad to get our front leg up. Softly down, and then drive up. So really control that movement. Don't slam that knee down, and then come up. Good. So our next exercise, we're going to do, we're going to start with a single leg glute bridge raise. We're going to start again with the floor, on the floor to start. I'm going to come one leg flat down, one, keep that heel to make it harder, but if that heel is closer to the glutes, to the bum, it's going to be a little bit harder. So here we're going to really try and again squeeze as hard as we can, and then control down. Squeeze, and then control down. So really squeeze those hips as high as you can, and control. And then relax, good. And then we'll switch sides. Again, shuffle that heel in, squeeze, and control. Really powerful from the ground, really squeeze that glute, make sure that's tight. Really get as high as you can, don't really here, and really get that power in. Good, if that's a little bit challenging, you can just do a standing one if you're finding that difficult. I still want to see that really explosive power into that position if you're finding a single leg a little bit difficult. Finally, we're just going to target the quads a little bit more. We're going to do some reverse Nordics. Here we're going to be kneeling down. Here you can also, if you have struggled with a bit of ankle mobility, you can put a cushion underneath your ankles as well for a bit of support. Just underneath your ankles and your knees as well if you feel necessary. Anyway, here what we're going to do is squeeze our glutes again. We don't want any caving. If you look at this from side on, we don't want any caving in the hips, so we want the hips forward. And we want nice deep breaths. Keep the hands you can out in front or the side, and just rock back. Again, start off very conservative. if you're new to the movement, you just want to slowly ease into it. And then if you feel a bit more confident, I can go a bit further. So I'm squeezing the glutes, but the quads are driving me out of position. And then I'm coming out and then drive. Good, and that's the first round done. So we'll take a little bit of a short rest. But yeah, so that's also we're just gonna get a couple of rounds of these ones to start with and see there. So the next round, I'll try and show you, if you found that all quite comfortable, I can show you sort of a few progressions. Again, if you found that challenging enough already, then just stay with those progressions, or again, drop me any questions as well if you want something that a regression or anything like that as well. But yeah, otherwise, again, take your drink, take a relax, and then we'll get back into it. Good, so get all the supports ready up. Again, you can pile the cushions or towels or whatever you have as support a little bit higher as well, which is going to help. Have that sofa nearby, and we're going to again start with those shrimp squats. Again, so to make this one a little bit harder, you can start to grab that quad. Again, if you find this challenging already, I'll just leave this one, and then again, we can come to the floor and then drive up. Again, if you find it challenging, use that resistance nearby and then drive up. And the further that leg goes back, the more you can sort of get into that position. Try not to cave too far forward, try and stand tall and really drive from that front leg up. But if you want a bit more of a challenge, get that quad there, and you will need to lean a little bit more forward and then drive back up. And you can also go down like this, let go, and then drive up. Good, and we'll switch legs. Same principle. For those who want a challenge, come forward, make sure you get that balance, and then drive. Really grip the floor with your toes as well to get more of a grip, and then drive up. Again, regression, you can hold it there, breathe, relax, and then drive with that front foot. And down, and then drive. Good, and relax. There you go. That's your shrimp squats. Good. Next one, that single leg glute bridge raise. For those who found that one fairly comfortable, we can go into a raise of a single leg glute bridge raise. So you can put one leg onto a higher surface. Same thing, keep the heel close to the glutes, head relaxed, and then we're going to get power, and we're going to come up like that and squeeze and relax down. Really get that explosive power to the top. You can also implement some pauses at the top. So we're going to go 1, 2, and down. 1, 2, and down. And again, power and relax. You can also get a little bit closer and elevate. Good. Again, shuffle that heel. Again, to make it even harder, shuffle that heel really close, and then power, squeeze. That hip's got longer to travel. Breathe, and we'll get those pauses in. So 1, 2, and down. Power. 1, 2, and down. Squeeze. And breathe. Good, and relax. Good, and then we come to the final one of our giant set, and we're going back to these reverse Nordics. Again, here you can just challenge yourself a bit more. So squeeze the glutes, remember all the cues, come down. Good, and can you come down even further? Obviously, go to where you feel comfortable. If you only can go up to here, that's okay, we'll work towards it. And if, for those lucky enough, you could have a band wrapped around something, and that can also assist you. But only go further if you feel like you can. Again, we don't want it just to go further like this, we're not sitting down like that. We really want the hips forward, squeezing, and you're feeling those quads work that position. Again, you can get this cushion underneath if you're finding it difficult for your ankles or anything pain there, and then you can come down and squeeze. Good, and relax there. Good, there you go. So that's a little glimpse of a strength leg workout that all you need body weight for and a few towels and cushions. I'll have a little bit of a rest, and we'll come back with a pushing upper body circuit next. Good. So next up, we're going to work on that our pushing. We're going to do a push-up, but I want to sort of deep dive into this push-up to make sure, and we're going to look at protracted push-ups, or sometimes called pseudo planche push-ups, and that's just going to make it a little bit harder. I'm going to activate that chest a little bit more, and we'll work through that, and then we're going to go up to some tricep extensions. But before we start, because these type of protracted push-ups are going to be quite hard on your wrists, again, just like the handstands we did in previous classes, I want a little bit of a warm-up on our wrists, just to make sure to reduce that chance of injury. So just like normal, we did those rock forwards, and that's just going to really just load those wrists just to make sure, and then prep them for them into that position. Again, just really feel that stretch, and then we'll go a few all the way around, rotate round, and the other way. Breathe. Good, and then we're just going to hold each wrist and just get a little pressure release, just feel it go both ways, rotate around, left, right, all around. A few prayer stretches, again, get the extension, flexion of the wrist. Okay, perfect. So we're going to work this protracted push-up. What that's going to look at by protraction, I mean what we want to do with our shoulder blades. If you see the slide on, a bit like that cat-cow position, but obviously now we'll start on our knees just as that first one to get used to it, is rather than being down like this, we're really going to try and push our shoulder blades back, okay? And the other thing is what I want to see is that I want our elbows over our wrists, okay? So I don't want any push-ups where we're going back like this. I really want to push those shoulder blades, and we're really going to try and keep those elbows close and come towards and then push up. So we're really trying that control. Again, if you're finding it difficult, you can come to here and then relax. You can also shuffle those knees in. Again, just be careful that you don't want to go too far as well, but we're coming here and then pushing up tall. Really feeling those things. So just adjust that knee position where you find comfortable and challenging, but really push tall. I don't want to see any of this coming up like that, and the shoulder blades relax, arching back like normal, and really just trying to push tall. And these push-ups are pretty hard when done correctly. Really squeeze and relax. Good. Next one's a tricep extension. Again, we'll start on our knees as that first exercise, and we're going to have the hands a bit close together. This time, I want the elbows in line with the shoulders, so that's the stacking we want to see. Again, we don't want any slacking down in the hips, so squeeze the core still, and this time make sure we're squeezing tall, control that down, breathe, and bang. And make sure we don't finish up here, really try and make sure you end in that starting position, down, and squeeze. Squeeze. And then we also don't want to be too far forward as well, so just really work hard and squeeze, come down, and then relax. Good, that's first round done. We're gonna get 3 sets in total here. Again, take this breather, have a drink and relax, and then we'll get a couple more rounds in. So yeah, it's really important with that push-up, but often the people who are used to sort of retracting their shoulder blades, you still will get a good workout in the triceps, but this is you should hopefully feel it in the chest a little bit more, and it will make it a lot harder. And the whole point of these exercises is that we can make bodyweight exercises hard enough that we don't have to do 100 reps of things. You can still build on your strength, get fitter, as well as building muscle without having to do 100 odd push-ups. For those push-ups, if one done correctly, you only can do 6 or 8 of them until we hit sort of an RPE of 8 out of 10. And RPE is just that rate of perceived exertion, so how hard you find something. And there's no need to always push to failure as well. So it's just these few considerations, and you can make great progress in that rather than doing, hundreds of push-ups, pull-ups, and dips if you find those easy already as well. So good, we've had a good 60 seconds rest. We're going to come again, obviously your wrists are now warm, so we're just going to straight into those push-ups. So again, to obviously make it harder for the second one, you really get those knees as far as you can up, but obviously we don't want to be as far, you only can go a certain length, obviously because those shoulders are still going to be stacked. So again, really push tall, keep those close,
keep pushing tall and squeeze up. Again, try not to tuck the head down as well. So really trying to push tall, keep those elbows closed and push up. You should really feel that chest stretch and then you squeeze. And that's really difficult power. Good, again, if you find this challenging, again, shuffle those knees in and then you go about halfway. That partial range of motion is okay. The other thing we could do is a negative. So come to the ground, relax. You can come up in a cobra style push up and then do the same again. So really squeeze all the way, get that form right, relax down, and then come back up into that position. Good, we'll just get one more, and then squeeze up. Good. Take a little bit of a breather, and then we're gonna go into those triceps. So again, with this one, shuffle those knees back even further, and then squeeze. Make sure that we're not too far away again, all those same cues. Really control, don't drop them down and bang your elbows. Really gotta squeeze down. Good, breathe. Good, couple more. Again, if they're getting really difficult, you shuffle those knees in and do a little bit more. There, good, and relax. Good, and we'll have one little breather again. We'll do it one more round. And again, we can slowly, this last round, I'll make them, if you're still finding, even with all those tips, you're still finding it pretty easy, we can get another last progression. And with both of these, as you've seen, that we've basically increased our lever of pushing. So what we can do with body weight when you don't have weights available is you want to lift more of your body weight. And that's what we do when our knees are further back. And so the last little step there, what we can do is obviously go onto our feet or onto our toes when we're doing those push-ups, and the same with our tricep extensions. Good, take that breather. I think I need a bit of a one as well. So just really get that nose breathing done, get some oxygen in. And really just relax, get that body recovered for this final set of the push exercises. Good, keep going. Good, and we'll slowly get to the floor. I'm gonna come into the final round of this. Okay, so again, go where you're comfortable. If that first progression was where you're at, that's great. Keep working on that and we can work towards the full ones. So here, this is also going to be a bit more strenuous in your wrist, so make sure everything's out okay. Again, no slouching, nice and tall, and we're going to come there, and bang. Really get that explosion. And see how my toes, I'm really rocking forward onto my tiptoes. And that means obviously I'm pushing more weight up, I'm really rocking forward and really squeezing my push. Again, if you're still finding this super easy, you can put some pauses in. 1, 2, and then bang. And relax. Good, so you can hopefully see there that you can make it pretty difficult. Same with this one. So again, if you're finding it difficult with your knees here, that's fine, go there. We're gonna just make it a little bit harder for this round. Keep those elbows there and then bang. Slowly down, squeeze that core, squeeze the glutes, keep that hips in line, bang. 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 Good, one more. Good, and relax. Good. Whoa. I definitely need to breathe off that one. Have a good 45 seconds to a minute, and then we'll come back a little bit of a core strengthening exercise in that time.
Good, yeah, I definitely need a longer rest there, so yeah, don't worry about it. Right, so we're getting our core workout now. Yeah, so if we just scroll down a bit. So we've got to do an exit or a tuck sit. Again, this is going to apply a bit hip compression strength as well. So what I'm going to start with, just before we get into it, for just as a regression, I'm going to show you a regression first before we get into it. It's a bit like what we did for our core compression work for our handstands, and this will carry over here as well. So what we want is those pike compressions. So with those fingertips, you can bend the legs as well to start. And what we want to do is we're just going to lift our legs up, and we can round the back here, that's not a problem. Again, if you place the fingertips close to you, might feel a little bit easier. If you can, straighten those legs, and we'll come up and down like that. Again, if you're finding this really difficult as well, you can come into a straddle compression, and you can come to the side as well. So you can do a few each leg, again, control it, and then a few the other side. Good, so just pick a progression where you feel that you can do at least 5 to 6 reps, and you're not crashing down and whacking down. Good. So the other one, which you can use yoga blocks and stuff for, or a pair of sturdy books to give you a bit of a lever, parallettes if you've got them. But yeah, if you want to challenge yourself a bit, we're going to try and cross our legs. Keep your heels as close to your body as you can, and then you want to try and get up as high as you can. And relax. This is going to be pretty tough for those guys, so again, what I want you to do is keep with those. If you're finding that really tough, you can't get off the ground and you don't have any yoga blocks or parallettes with you, you can just go for those pike compressions as well, and that's going to work on that strength. So we're just going to rest there, and that's it. We'll just do a couple more rounds, but yeah, it's just really working not only our core strength, but we're working our flexibility of our hamstrings, flexibility of our hips, and that real strong compression strength. Another great one, if you've got access to a pull-up bar, is hanging leg raises, and they will really develop that core strength as well and have great carryover to other core movements. And just like I had it in the handstand, you've got that strong core, that strong base, you can also, it's easier to hold that handstand for a longer period of time. Good, so just rest another 10, 15 seconds. And breathe. Good, this time I'll start with the tuck sit because it is the harder one. So for example, those, if you can't do the tuck sit at the moment, you haven't got anything to leave yourself up with, then just start with those pike compressions. If you can, we're just going to try and get a bit of hold. If you found that exit quite easy, we can do a tuck sit. That's when tuck sit, sorry, and that's where we haven't got our legs crossed and we're trying to just lift up from there. And relax. Good, so you also feel that quite a lot on the triceps. Again, if you find that difficult, we can come to those straddle compressions. So again, we're pointing the toes and squeezing here, and you can make this, if you're finding, you can make this more challenging by having it more, your fingertips closer to your foot and really squeezing. Again, if you're dropping it like that, I want you to go back a little bit and squeeze, and then you try the other leg. And squeeze. Again, challenging, easier. Again, really control it. And then finally, you've got the pike ones as well, again for an added challenge. So, have a little bit of a rest. You're getting one final round. I'm going to show you guys from that tuck sit, exit, we're working to an L sit. Again, this is a really complex gymnastic movement, but again, just for people who are looking for varying difficulties, it's just a good to show a range. Again, stick to that progression where you're currently at. Really with these holds, if you can really want to get to a minute, if you're only holding it for 1 or 2 seconds, I'd rather you regress it to a certain extent, and if you can't do that exit and you haven't got anything to raise yourself on, stop with those pike and straddle compressions. Once you build that compression strength up, we can then move on to that exit as well. So, good, just give yourself another 10 seconds. And yeah, we're just going to show the last sort of bit. The other thing you can do is use a chair as well and just push off a chair with your legs bent, but we can look at that the following weeks. So L sit is our final position. This is going to be really difficult. So again, if you're with the exit, tuck sit, whichever one you get, or that was where I'm at, start with that one, or even with the straddle compressions, do that. And for those who want the L sit, this is where we're going from that tuck, so we're making it harder because our legs are flat out. Again, we're just trying to get that time and then relax there. So it's a really tough move, so only when for people who want a bit of a challenge, you do it. Again, just to finish off, for those who want a really challenge with the straddles, instead of putting, again, keep going with this one, guys, keep doing the straddles. If you want an extra challenge, put the hands in the middle and try and squeeze up from there. Again, that's another really good one. Again, further you go, the harder it is. Again, for me, like if I can't push off here, so I'm not strong enough for that bit, so I'm just going to come back, and that's fine. You drop any ego you've got, and then just go to a level where you can still use it, you can control it. I'm not getting to a point where I'm just doing this. Really activate that core. Again, we're there and there, all the pike compressions, that's okay. Good. And there you go, guys. So that's our, there we go, we work through our legs, our upper body, and a bit of a core gymnastic sort of strength style workout, all our body weight. We had different progressions and regressions and stuff like that. So we're just going to finish off with a bit of a cool down. With our quads, we can just be on the floor and we can grab our quad just like that and just hold here and just get that flex so you can really keep that body nice in line, and then we can roll over the other side. Again, I would be lying down, just the microphone's in the way, but yeah, just have you relax and then keep that heel there. Good. And then we're going to finish just with a forward fold into a downward dog and child pose. So we're just coming here. Again, you can keep that good morning and then just fold down. And then we're going to walk those feet, those hands out even, and the feet back. And then we're going to come for that downward dog position. Hold. Down onto the knees and finish up. That's normal. A nice relaxing child pose. And relax. Good, guys, thanks for watching. Again, hope you enjoy the class as normal. If you've got any questions, you can shoot me a message on Instagram under bodymastery_. And also, yeah, if you want to see more of this sort of stuff, or you want to see anything different, that's fine. At the moment, we're looking at just progressing this each week and just doing a few different exercises here and there. But hopefully, this gave you an insight of how you can make your workouts hard at home without doing endless sets and reps, and get a good workout in with making those body weight exercises very hard. So again, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.